Let me talk to the woman who eats lunch alone, to the woman who scrolls through her phone, seeing gatherings she wasn't invited to the woman who smiles at people who never check on her. You're not forgotten. You're not failing. You're not cursed. You are chosen, hidden, guarded, set apart, because the secret power you hold cannot survive in shallow company. You're not friendless. You're in divine isolation. And today, I came to tell you there's power in your aloneness. There are moments in life when it feels like the crowd disappears. Calls stop coming. Invitations are no longer extended, and the silence grows louder by the day. But what if that silence is not abandonment, but alignment? What if isolation isn't rejection, but redirection? When God pulls a woman into solitude, it's never to destroy her, it's to develop her. Isolation is the place where revelation is born. When you're no longer surrounded by constant opinions, distractions, and surface-level relationships, your spirit becomes sensitive. Your ears tune in to a higher frequency. You start hearing God in ways you never did before. The noise is gone. And now, finally, you can hear the whisper. In the stillness, clarity comes. Purpose unfolds. Identity is revealed. Some of the greatest breakthroughs don't come in crowded rooms. They come in lonely valleys. The cave, the closet, the midnight hour, where no one sees the tears, no one hears the prayers, and no one understands the pain. That's where God molds his chosen. It's where he takes his time to strip away the false strength and replace it with real fire. The woman who has been isolated is not being punished, she's being refined. She's being emptied of the need to fit in so she can be filled with power that stands out. She's not missing out on life. She's gaining access to deeper wisdom, sharper discernment, and unshakable strength. What looks like loneliness to the world is actually holy ground, where destiny is being written and a warrior is being awakened. So, don't despise the season of isolation. It's not the end, it's the beginning. And when revelation is born in the dark, it will eventually shine so bright that no one will be able to deny the hand of God on your life. Sometimes the people who walk away from your life are not your enemies. They are your deliverance. The doors that closed, the friendships that faded, the relationships that ended, those were not losses. They were divine disconnections. And while it hurt when they left, heaven was working behind the scenes to protect what you couldn't yet see. God knows the weight of your assignment. He knows the purity of your purpose. And there's some people who cannot go where you're going. Their spirit isn't aligned with your calling. Their vision isn't big enough to carry the next level of what God is birthing in you. So instead of letting them infect your future, he disconnects them from your present. It doesn't always feel good. In fact, divine disconnection can feel like betrayal, abandonment, or even failure. But in time, you'll look back and realize that what you thought was rejection was really protection. You didn't lose them. God removed them for your growth, your focus, your elevation. Every time someone exits your life, don't rush to chase after them. Instead, pause and ask, God, what are you making room for? Because sometimes a subtraction is preparation for multiplication. That disconnection may have saved you from distractions, delays, or even destruction. Some people can't handle your growth. Some friends only loved the version of you that needed them, but once you healed, once you matured, they couldn't recognize you anymore. And that's okay. God is not just building your life, He's guarding it. And if He took it away, He knew it wasn't worthy to stay. Trust the separation. Trust the silence. Trust the divine hand that's pulling you back, because what feels like a lonely season might be the greatest shield of protection over your destiny. There is a sacred strength that grows in silence. When a woman walks alone, without crowds cheering her on or constant affirmation from others, she begins to cultivate something most people miss: power and privacy. It's not weakness that keeps her quiet, it's wisdom. She's not hidden because she's unworthy. She's hidden because God is doing a deep work that can't be interrupted. Privacy is not just a boundary, it's a strategy. When your moves are not broadcast, they cannot be sabotaged. When your prayers are not posted, they are pure. In privacy, your growth is protected from opinions. Your healing is shielded from mockery, and your process is free from pressure. While others seek platforms, she seeks peace. While they crave visibility, she craves vision. She understands that everything powerful doesn't have to be public. Some of the most dangerous women are the ones nobody saw coming. Because while the world was distracted, she was becoming. She was building in silence, healing in solitude, learning in secret. And when the time is right, she won't need an introduction. Her fruit will speak for itself. Her private discipline will produce public power. God often hides those He's preparing to elevate. And when He keeps you in the shadows, it's not punishment, it's preservation. In that private place, there's no performance, only presence. No competition, only communion. That's where confidence is forged. Not in applause, but in alignment. A woman who embraces her privacy is a woman who trusts the process. She's not worried about being seen. She's committed to becoming solid. And when she finally steps forward, she won't come empty. She'll come full of strength, of strategy, of purpose. Because while the world wondered where she went, heaven knew exactly what she was carrying. When she's alone, something powerful happens. Her soul starts to line up with her purpose. The noise fades, the distractions are removed, the masks come off. In the stillness, she's not lost. She's aligned. She begins to hear her own voice again. More importantly, she hears God's voice without interruption. She's no longer pulled in 10 different directions by opinions, expectations, or shallow relationships. She can finally see clearly where she's going and who she really is. Alignment doesn't come in the crowd, it comes in the quiet. And the quiet isn't empty, it's full of clarity, full of revelation, full of divine instructions. She may not have company, but she has confirmation. She may not be surrounded by friends, but she's surrounded by grace. Her steps start to sync with heaven's rhythm, and her heart begins to beat in time with God's purpose for her life. When she's alone, her roots go deeper. She's no longer dependent on external validation to feel whole. Her identity stops being shaped by other people's opinions and starts being rooted in truth. The time alone becomes sacred because it's in that place she learns to move with intention, speak with wisdom, and walk with authority. Aloneness becomes alignment when she realizes that God isn't punishing her. He's positioning her. She's not overlooked. She's being ordered. There's something about the solitude that sharpens her senses. She begins to discern what's from God and what's not. She begins to discern not in what she feels, but in what she knows. And what she knows is this: when everything else fades and she's left standing with nothing but her faith and her purpose, that's where real power lives. Not in popularity, not in applause, but in alignment with the one who called her in the first place. There is a difference between being set aside and being set apart. When the world pushes someone to the side, it's often done to dismiss or diminish them. But when God sets a woman apart, it's for preservation, preparation, and purpose. She's not forgotten, she's being focused. She's not disqualified. She's being destined for something greater. To be set apart means God saw something in her that could not be wasted in the crowd. The calling on her life was too sacred to be handled casually. The oil she carries is too costly to be spilled in the wrong environment. So he pulled her away, not because she wasn't enough, but because she's too much for where she was. Too much purpose, too much power, too much anointing for places that can't contain it. Being set apart feels like isolation, but it's really insulation. God covers her in silence so he can grow her in strength. He removes the distractions, delays, and even the people who would try to dilute her potential. It's in this space of separation that she becomes solid. She starts to realize that what others called rejection was actually redirection. She's not where she used to be, and she's not yet where she's going. But this in between is divine. It's where foundations are laid, where character is forged, where vision is sharpened. She's not on pause. She's in process. God never sets anything apart that he doesn't plan to use in a mighty way. And the woman who feels unseen today is the one God is setting up for undeniable impact tomorrow. She's not on the sidelines. She's in sacred space, being shaped, stretched, and sealed for a calling that will silence every doubt and prove that she was never forgotten, just chosen. When God goes silent in a woman's life, it's not because he's left her. It's because he trusts her. Silence is not the absence of God. It is the evidence of his confidence in her maturity. He knows she won't quit just because she can't hear him. He knows she's grown beyond needing constant reassurance. So he trusts her to keep walking even when the way isn't clear. Some women are trusted with stages. Others are trusted with storms. But the one trusted with silence, she carries a deeper strength. She's the one who prays even when heaven feels closed. She worships even when her heart feels heavy. She doesn't need noise to know God is near. She's learned to recognize his presence in the stillness. In a world obsessed with constant feedback, God gives her something far more powerful: quiet confirmation. Silence is not a punishment. It's a place of trust. It means he knows she will stay faithful, that she won't break just because the breakthrough hasn't come yet. She won't give up just because no one's watching. She's proven that she doesn't serve for attention. She serves out of conviction. And in that quiet space, she becomes a threat to hell because she walks not by sound, but by spirit. It's in the silence where her discernment sharpens, her faith deepens, and her resolve strengthens. She becomes the kind of woman who doesn't need to announce her next move because heaven has already cleared the path. Her silence is not weakness. It's sacred warfare. It's the space where trust is built and power is birthed. God doesn't go quiet on just anyone. He goes quiet on the ones he can count on. And if she's in that season now, it only means one thing. He trusts her more than she knows. So, to the woman who walks alone, misunderstood, uninvited, and unseen, this was never about rejection. This was about refinement.